One day, a mama duck gave birth to a lot of little baby ducks, but one of them was gray, and it was different from all the other yellow ducklings. The gray one thought he was ugly, and so he went around and asked the frog, "Why are my feet so big and my neck so long?" And the frog said, "You know what? I can't help you. You're just different." And then the little gray duckling went and asked a swan, "Why don't I fit in at all?" And the swan said, "That's because you are a beautiful swan like me. You are not an ugly duckling." I had a bear, a stuffed animal bear, okay, not a real one yet. I had a stuffed animal bear growing up, and it told that story all the time. And I think that right now I really needed to hear that in this point in my journey, my life journey, my human experience as a spiritual being. And I bet that some of you all also feel that way. You might feel like you don't belong somewhere where you were placed. And that can either be because you were adopted, or that can be because you might have different hair than the rest of the people in your family, or maybe your pigmentation is a little bit different amongst your community, or maybe you just feel like you're out of place. You are surrounded by people who can't connect with you on a deeper level. It might be because you have different interests or different beliefs, and you might be beating yourself up about not fitting in. And I just want to encourage everybody, every single person who feels that way, every single person who feels like they don't belong, and they are in an environment that is not allowing them to be themselves. I just encourage you to not hide. You should not hide yourself. You should not hide your differences. And as for me, I know that I am holding true to this right now, as I am spiritual and I'm not religious anymore. I do not claim any denomination. I do not claim any doctrine. And I do not identify with any movement. I am just Jubilee. So right now, I've always actually felt like that swan who goes around and questions, why am I so different? Why do I look differently than everybody around me? Why do I feel different things? Why do I see different things? Why is my worldview so different than the ones around me? And different, let me tell you this, different is not bad. I was indoctrinated with a set of beliefs from birth, right? And those beliefs in a set of, of a community, I guess and I'm not saying this is my family, I'm saying the community aspect of the beliefs that I was taught, indoctrinated with. Those beliefs say that anyone who is different than you, anyone who believes differently than you, whether they worship differently, they look differently than you, they pray differently than you, they are bad. And what I've noticed in my own personal experience, so I am not speaking on behalf of all humanity. This is my experience. This is my life. And if you feel uncomfortable with people expressing different ideas, I suggest you grow up and open your eyes, because you live in a whole world. You live in a global community, or I don't want to say globe, but you live in a worldwide society of human beings, well, spiritual beings having a human experience. And we look around and we grow up and we see differences between ourselves and another person. And we are so quick when we are older to judge that as wrong. When we are born, or when we come here, we don't have hatred in our hearts. That's what I believe. I believe that we were conditioned to demonize certain kinds of people, either based on creed or color, or the many other differences that we have in this earthly society. And we condition the next generation to also think that way. And I believe in my being that it is erroneous to treat other beings as such, to treat other beings as less than because you don't share the same ideology as them. And I've been in religion, I've been in different denominations where, you know, we say we're inclusive of all different people, and we say that, you know, the unconditional love of God is for every human being. But then at the bottom of it, you look closer and you see that that only really applies to people who share the same ideology as you, or even further, you only think that that applies to people who are in the same denomination within that religion. And then you go even further, and it's people who are not only in the same religion, denomination, but now it has to be the same church home, the same building. And anybody who goes across the street to go to this church, or who prays like this, or who worships like this, even within the same religion, now you've cut them off. Now you've made yourself closed off to an experience of learning from someone that you might disagree with, because we've been prideful. We've been conditioned to think that we are always right. And to believe that we are always right, that means that people who think differently than we do are wrong. What does that do to this world? What does that do to the human race? What does that do to us as spiritual beings? It divides us. It divides us. Why are there 33,000 denominations just within Christianity? Tell me that. Why? And then I went on and I believed in him. I followed a movement because I believed I was a certain thing based on a man-made, or let's say manufactured and edited holy text. And I'm not going to get into doctrine or, you know, things like that in this video, because I feel no need right now to explain myself of where I am. I mean, I'm doing this really for myself and anybody else who feels like they don't belong. And I'm not even going to get to that second part of what I was going to say. But in essence, I am not in a place where I can believe something that puts other people down, because you could have been that person. You could have had those same experiences that person that you're throwing hatred and judgment towards, that you don't even know their story. You could have been them. For me to be in different religions and try that out and try a movement and having a voice in both of those realms, and then removing myself and saying, you know what? I'm socially critiquing things. I'm saying things are not adding up. I believe in a creator that is loving, that is compassionate, that is intelligent, that designed everything in harmony. And that creator, whether you want to call it a he or a she, whether you want to put labels on it and humanize and personalize and personify this greater, higher being, whatever you want to do that makes you comfortable, because I'm not saying that's wrong. It's different. Different is not wrong. Different is not bad, because you could have been that person, okay? So we are in a society where we are expected to fit into these boxes based on how you look, based on how you were raised. Me being a melanated being, or everybody has melanin, but me being more melanated than another person, they might categorize me off the bat. Oh, she's Christian, or oh, she's a Democrat, or she eats fried chicken and watermelon. And you know what? A lot of the things that I just said don't fit me. So now what? Now you have try to categorize someone based on their appearances. And don't say you don't do this, because everybody does it. And I just want to encourage everybody who is watching this, who not only feels alone, but also those who are a little bit more closed-minded because of their upbringing. Please just open up your eyes and look at reality. Look at reality. So many times we place our energy and our focus and our attention on something that is outside of ourselves, and that creates a diffusion of responsibility. We're like, oh, well, let the angels do it, or let God do it, or we just gonna just be passive and let the earth die and go up in flames, and world hunger continue, and the water crisis to continue, because I'm good. Let go and let God, and I'm just gonna stay back, and I'm just gonna go to church, and that's it. If you are in church, excuse me, I'm talking too fast, I'm not swallowing. If you are in church, if you attend a mosque or a temple or whatever you do, if you show who and what God is based on your actions, based on your words, based on the treatment of this planet, yourself, and other spiritual beings that are having a human experience along with yourself, you know what? This world will be a better place, I guarantee you. I guarantee you that. And so anybody who feels left out or ostracized because they're afraid to express themselves due to the fear of rejection, due to the fear of abandonment or marginalization, I'm asking you to please come out and speak up on behalf of yourself. Don't give your power to anybody else who is not you, because you, at the end of the day, you're the one that has to be in your thoughts. You're the one that is experiencing your life, your habitus, your worldview, and no one can tell you that it is wrong just because they don't see it. And universally speaking, we need that balance. We need differences. Imagine a world, oh my gosh, if everybody was the same. You know how boring that is? You know how disturbing also that is, and unnatural that is. And now we are going against nature by telling everybody they have to fit in a certain box. They have to walk a certain way. They have to talk a certain way. They have to dress a certain way. And that is unfair. That is unrealistic and inhumane. And I think now is the time that we not only show our true selves out to the world, but we also take responsibility for our own actions, for our own prejudices that we might have against one another. Because at the end of the day, we are all going to leave these earth suits, and we're going to return back to being spirit, solely spirit. And we're going to, none of this is going to matter, really. We're here to learn. We're here to love. We're here to grow. We're here to change this world. And if you are hiding because you're different and you are afraid to speak up, please do the world a favor. And if you and that's too, big and out there, do yourself a favor and be yourself. During this quarantine, at the beginning of April, even before the quarantine, or I don't even know when all this started, to be honest, I was, starting to retrieve a little bit more than usual, because after I questioned religion in a movement, I started to, I guess, become more aware of other things in this world. And it went against the beliefs that within that I was raised, or however you say that sentence, grammatically correct. And I was ashamed. I beat myself up. I tried to drown it out. I tried to hide away my differences, and I was depressed. And it's not the time to do that. This is such an amazing time in history where not only are we reflecting as a worldly society, but now we have self-reflection. Take this time to be introspective and find out who you truly are, and ground yourself and root yourself in that. No one can tell you to be something that you don't feel comfortable being. You have to be yourself. That's what you came here to do. So love your differences, appreciate yourself, and love yourself. Okay, peace be with you.